Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2003's Jeepers Creepers 2, which was directed by Victor Salva. And really quick, we mentioned this last time as well, but we're not going to be talking about the director. We understand, obviously, everything that's happened with him. Feel free to look it up on your own. We are just going to be focusing on the film. We're going to be separating the artist from the art. And anyways, with that, I am your co-host, Alec.
I'm Erik. With us again is Ryan Baldassario, our Jeepers Creepers expert. I don't know if he has that on his resume.
I would be honored to have that title. It's like an honorary doctorate, you know?
If you put that on your LinkedIn, Ryan, I would be like, this is the coolest guy ever.
I'll donate you $5 if you put that on there.
Yeah, I'll endorse it. Yeah, I'll put it as one of my skills.
Did you say you'll Venmo him $5?
You got to keep it up for a week, though. That's the rule.
I need the endorsement on LinkedIn saying, yes, I agree. He does have quite the extensive knowledge of the Jeepers Creepers universe.
There you go.
Well, welcome back, Ryan. Yeah, we had such a good time doing the first one that we're like, we just put this immediately on the next wheel. And we're like, we have to have Ryan back. So, yeah, dude, welcome back to the show.
Glad to be here.
So, jumping into Jeepers Creepers 2. You know, it's funny. I listened to our first podcast, and we had talked about, Erik, I think you had said that you'd seen Jeepers Creepers 2 first.
Yes.
And I think after seeing this again, I also was the same thing. This one completely was burned into my mind. The whole bus thing was like, I think I meshed the two movies together. But yeah, this is the one I had seen many more times.
Did we watch this together at Bobby's house?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember we watched like the first part of it and everyone was paying attention. And by like midway through, everyone was like not paying attention.
Yeah, we were 13. We're trying to like hook up, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Ryan, what was your experience with this? When was the first time you saw this?
It's got to be, I want to say, like a movie night down at Black Point, because there, like you guys, there's just pieces of dialogue, images, certain scenes that are just like seared into my brain. And when I started watching Jeepers Creepers, the original, for the first time we recorded, I thought to myself, where's the bus? And it clicked. I was like, oh yeah, duh, this is the intro. This is the first movie that introduces the creeper. But it's essentially, the first one is just like, hey, we're going to introduce all the back lore for this. And then the second was just like carnage the whole time. And I was like, I had blurred the two movies together. So I think probably the first time I saw it was down in Black Point with a bunch of friends. And probably the same thing, like half paying attention, half not. But I've definitely seen this one many more times.
Yeah, I mean, because in 2001, you know, Erik and I were 11. You're 10, Ryan, then? Yeah, so like we're a little young for that. But then by 13 and 12, pay-per-view, you know, going over to your friend's house to watch it, renting it at Blockbuster, like this one made more sense. And like, we didn't give a shit about the story. We just want to see this creepy guy, like, you know, attacking teens on a bus. Like, you know, it was fun. It was a fun time. Before I forget though, Erik, it's funny that we did the Dead Zone last week, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's funny because the South Park episode clearly was inspired by the Dead Zone. But you know what's funny? You know
the flashbacks episode,
dude. That South Park episode came out in 1998. So it came out before this. So I wonder if South Park inspired this movie somehow. You know,
or I don't know. Maybe South Park was also like pulling off of a Twilight Zone or something with that, because yeah, there was like a creeper monster, a big black scary monster is going to eat you. I remember they said in South Park. It's like that's the plot to this. Yeah,
they're stuck on a bus, they can't get off because there's a monster. The bus driver's a woman, she leaves. It was just like, this is exactly like the South Park episode.
I thought the same thing too.
Have you seen that one, Ryan?
I don't know if I've seen that one. No.
Yeah, it's from the second season. It's really old, but I'm pretty sure Victor Salva saw it, and I'm pretty sure he pulled a little bit of inspiration from that episode. But anyways, so I think the first one's better, but I really liked this one because it was able to just like, we already know what the creeper is. The first one spends the first like half of the movie being like, is it a guy? Like, what is that thing? This time we're like, nah, it's a demon bat monster and it's here to kill. We already know the story. And I thought it was really cool how it picks up. It's the final day of this whole 23 days of his, from the first film. It's like, okay, this is his last day. I really liked that.
Yeah, it had like a Majora's Mask vibe. It's like 12 hours remaining.
I wish it was like a buffet. Like imagine like eating at a buffet for like 12 days and like how sluggish and fat you are. I wish the creeper got like sluggish and like slower and fatter.
Yeah, it's final. Well, that was what I was going to say. Like this is his 23rd day. You'd think that, yeah, exactly like that, Erik, you would have been like, all right, I've stocked up. I've had my fucking buffet going. I'm like a bear.
Got a little gut going on.
Yeah.
You know?
But dude, he's going till the end, like to the very end, to the point where he like gets stopped mid-fight and then like forces himself to go into hibernation. I was like, why didn't you like take that last day to be like, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna do my nails, I'm gonna fucking chill, and then like, you know, go into hibernation. But he's a fucking moron.
Have some Pepto, digest.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he was fighting till the very end, but anyways, maybe we shouldn't start at the very end. Actually, Ryan, do you want to give us a little synopsis of the film here for anybody that hasn't seen it?
Sure, yeah. So there is a unnamed family out in the middle of the cornfields, and one kid's out doing maintenance on scarecrows, and little does he know that one of the scarecrows is actually the creeper monster from the first film, and he gets picked off. And his father and brother are downtrodden, but they figure out a way they're going to track the thing and try and kill it. And then we cut to the now state champion basketball team just happens to be driving across state in the least efficient way back home, it seems. Like they're going way out of their way to go on this major highway. It happens to be the same highway that Justin Long is driving on in the first film. And essentially the creeper says, oh, even though they've never been anywhere near me, there are definitely like 20 teens on that bus that are going to be perfect for prey. So let me break this bus down and then pick them off one by one. And then it just becomes a race to the finish of whether or not the people can make it out alive or if the creeper's going to win. And there's just hilarity ensues between all those points.
Don't forget about the racism. You know, you can't forget about the racism that happened.
Oh yeah, the reverse racism too. That's a whole conversation.
Yeah, very strange. Because I'm pretty sure Victor Salva is gay, and there was a lot of homophobic stuff.
Is he or isn't he?
That whole character is just to exist as like a homophobic joke. That's like his entire character. And then all this like undertone of racism the whole time. You're like, what? Why is this in this?
They're like peeing together too, like really peeing together. Like there's a whole open field and right next to each other, broad daylight. It's like looking down.
Yeah, so there's a lot of very overt like racism and homophobia. But to go back to that first scene, I gotta say that scene was awesome. Very scary, great way to start the movie. I really enjoyed that whole the scarecrow, and then when he picks off the little kid, like I don't know. Did you guys enjoy the opening?
I have a section called Best Scenes, and it's just called Initial Billy Abduction. Because it's just so well done. It's just the establishing shot of the creeper at different times and how fast he's going and how quickly he's running through the field, and they're just yelling, Billy, Billy! And it eventually just takes off. It's like, why didn't the creeper just take off in the first place? It had to run like 300 yards to the cornfield before... I don't know. But just that entire first opening scene is just blood pumping from A to Z.
Yeah, why did he even scare him? Why didn't he just be like, no, I'm gonna fucking just take him. Like, I don't care. And then fly away. And the dad, like, you know, comes out. The only shot that I would have changed, which it still looks so sick, is when the creeper flies up, basically. I don't know if you guys noticed, the camera like cut half his head off, though. I was like, no, I want to see him like his full body, like fly in the air. That was the only thing I was a little pissed off about. But otherwise, thought that scene was so cool, and I absolutely love the dad from that. Ray Wise, I think, right?
Your boy from Twin Peaks.
My boy from Twin Peaks. And also, dude, I always thought he looked like your Uncle Mike, Ryan. Can you see that at all, or am I crazy?
I can see, shades of that.
Yeah, he's got like similar hair, like the similar eye colors. Like I always thought that, dude. But anyways, so he's the dad. Also, Eric, I don't know if it gave me Pumpkinhead vibes a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit. Now you mention that, I get that.
Son gets killed, dad goes crazy, gets a shotgun, gets his son. I don't know.
Makes a harpoon gun out of a fence post. They both do that. No, they don't both do that.
Really quick, one other note I had about the dad introduction, the guy you thought looks like Uncle Mike. I called him Billy Dad Thornton.
Billy Dad Thornton.
Because I thought he looked like a little Billy Bob.
Like off-brand Billy Bob Thornton.
Exactly. Like a Value Max Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, he's just a farmer. He's like a corn farmer in Florida, right? Which I didn't know there was, but okay. So he's got a corn farm in Florida, son gets killed, and basically the rest of the movie, he becomes like the new psychic from the first movie. It's like another character that's not directly involved with like the A-plot, who's like coming the whole time. You remember the old lady from the first one?
Yeah. One other thing I want to bring up is the Jeepers Creepers song. I didn't hear that at all in this movie.
Oh, good point.
Jeepers Creepers, where you get the peepers? Because I have a prediction what happened. Because the psychic lady's a part of that too somehow. She like knows about the song.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like they probably paid for the rights to the first movie and was like, all right, we'll pay like $500 for the song. And then like the second time they're like, well, actually now it's $18,000. It's like, okay.
You're probably, but there's so many versions of the song they could use. So I don't know. It's very strange they didn't use that song though, because it's from the 30s. So I'm assuming it's royalty free at this point, but I don't know. But I was kind of bummed the old lady didn't come back. You know, they give the psychic ability to some random girl on the bus.
Yeah, she just has a stroke or a seizure and wakes up and is like, I saw a Justin Long with and without eyes, and it's 23 days he eats. And you're like, why do we always just believe these people?
I know.
Pride of Connecticut there, Justin Long.
Yeah, there you go, Eric. Pride of Connecticut back in his cameo. But yeah, I mean, so it made me think, because I was pretty disappointed the old lady didn't come back. I knew she didn't because, you know, I'd seen the movie, but I was still like, come on, like that would be sick if she like came back and saved them at the end or whatever, but whatever. So what I think is that the creeper in his vicinity, I think people get like psychic abilities. Maybe if they're already like prone to it, if they're near him, it heightens it. That's what I'm going with, because they never give an explanation for either of them. But I'm like, why are there so many psychics around this creeper who get just full blown exposition dumps?
Alec, why is there a football game being played when like 300 people were killed in the area? That's what I want to know.
Basketball.
Well, it's different. It's basketball. If it was football, then absolutely, that's ridiculous. But basketball, come on, man. No,
Yeah.
it's I love that too. I love how they all know about them finding the creeper's lair or whatever.
Yes, that the Soho update. They're like, oh, everyone shut up. The radio's having a Soho update, as if it's just a normal thing.
Right. No, but like it just happened. So they're probably like, oh, like the story's unfolding more or whatever. Oh my God, I just figured this out. This makes so much more sense though now why he's on his crazy hunger spree, because they found his fucking den.
Yeah.
He needs to make a new one. That makes total sense.
Oh my God. So that's why he's fighting on his last day. You're like, why would that explains it. Okay. So how many bodies did they say? They said that they found the bodies from over 200 years ago down there.
Yeah, because there was like wooden teeth.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, because we see it in the first movie and like, I don't know, it's pretty interesting they didn't show it in this one. So it's like, hey, if you saw the first one, you better have seen the first one to know what they're talking about. But yeah, like it's a cathedral of just the entire walls and floor or whatever plastered with bodies from over 200 years ago. And
yeah, no basketball game is being played or in the area. That place is on lockdown if that's happening in that state.
Yeah, you'd think the highways would have like SWAT patrols,
no,
like
done.
The National Guard would be out there. Like
Your curfew is at 2 p.m.
This is like the biggest serial killer ever.
Yeah, no shit.
And they're like, wait, from 200 years? Like they must
digging up bodies,
freaking out. They're like, how do they have? No, it's because they even say it's in pristine condition.
Yeah, they're like embalmed.
Yeah, so he's got like Civil War body parts and stuff. Like, I don't know.
They're all sewn together. It's like Sarge, what do you think? It's like I don't even know where to start with this one.
Yeah, it's like, should we like call in the National Guard? It's like, I think probably.
You'll see my resignation.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna retire.
So that's basically like the whole setup to the movie is this they're state champs going back to their house or whatever, but they're aware of the events of the first movie, and basically one of the tires pops because the creeper threw his like a bone like little shuriken,
yeah,
and it hits it and pops a tire. And I love, so there's like the bus driver, there's the coach, and then I don't know, some other guy. Maybe they're both coaches or whatever.
They're both coaches, yeah.
Right. So they get killed. The creeper like strategically takes out the adults first, which I thought was kind of cool, but like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
I wish the bus driver stuck around a lot
Me
longer.
too.
Yes. Can I tell you my name, her pet name in the movie was the female James Remar?
The female James Remar? Why?
Because she just looked like the guy who plays Raiden. Just like her mannerisms, I don't know.
I know James Remar. Yeah, that's so fun. It's so random. I love it.
The most random thing that's ever happened on this podcast, I think.
I love that though. I did now when I watch, I'm gonna be like, okay, now I can't not see James Remar now every time I look at her. But yeah, she was great. I was so bummed that she got killed so fast. Yeah, she was really cool. But yeah, so the creeper picks off all three of the adults. They're all killed, and then the kids. First of all, let me ask you, who's the lead? Who's supposed to be the lead?
I think it was Minxie.
Minxie, yeah.
It's like Minnie Mouse and Mixie together.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I think she was probably the lead, but maybe, I think Double D, which one was the black one, like trying to get the thing out of Ricky's arm or whatever?
Yeah, DeAndre, and then
DeAndre, yeah. They call him Double D? I forgot what they called him.
yeah, DeAndre Davis, yeah. And then there's Scott, who was in like Malcolm in the Middle and stuff.
But he's not a lead. He's the bad guy, kind of.
Yeah, he's like the anti-hero.
Yeah, he's the racist guy.
There was nobody I liked. There was nobody I was rooting for in this movie. I was just kind of like, just kill them all. I don't know. The only guy I liked was Ray Wise. I was like, yes, get him, get him.
Maybe he was the lead, right?
Kind of, I guess.
It ends with him too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, by the end, yeah, 100%. He's definitely the lead. But I don't know. I didn't really find the characters as like likable as the first one. Like I really liked following Justin Long and his sister, but this one I was like, eh.
Yeah, it was more just action packed. Like, just get a bus full of kids and kill them all.
Yeah, they definitely give the sequel treatment, just like cranked it up to 11, way more bodies. I don't know. But like I said in the beginning, I just like how we can just get right to the action. We don't have to be like, what is that thing? Is it a human? Like, no, it's like, oh shit. And it just immediately starts killing people. Like, I like that.
The only thing I will say is one character that always has an endearing part, and I had this like physical reaction to the guy, Coach Dwayne Barnes, I'm looking at. So he says one quote, I said, sit the fuck down and shut up, goddammit, now! And he's like yelling at Scott.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I can like, it like echoed in my mind. It's like that, I've seen that like 100 times in my head. I feel like that scene is the most memorable part of that movie for me. For some reason, I cannot tell you why, but it's like just him yelling at Scott at the bus. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie at least a dozen times.
Yeah. I know, it's so funny when certain lines just stick out to you forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie like did pretty well. Like, here's the weird thing. It says the budget was 17 million and the box office is 63 to 120 million. So there's no like real idea.
That's a huge 60 million that went missing.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know.
Like 3 times the 6 times the budget pretty much is missing.
Do you know how expensive it is to buy multiple school buses? Because they definitely fucked up 1 or 2 of those shots and they had to redo it. I'm sure, like the exploding the sides out of the bus, like they probably had to do that a couple of times. So that's got to add up.
True.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking about too? Like we're very fortunate. We live in a place that's like somewhat like suburban. You know, where like if our bus breaks down, it's like we're not going to be here for 8 hours. Like someone's going to come get us. Like that sucks. If you're on that bus in the heat, your tire blows. It's like, well. They literally go like tanning on top of the bus. I was like, no, you're not going to do that.
I don't think a place like that exists in Florida. Maybe in like Texas.
It's Florida?
Yeah, it's the first one's Florida. I'm like 99.9% sure. Hold on. Let's make sure. So, plot, they're traveling from spring break, through the Florida countryside.
Yeah, where is this in Florida?
Right.
This was filmed in Florida.
So the first one was filmed in Florida, takes place in Florida. This one takes place in Florida, but was filmed in Long Beach in California. But again, I mean, I've driven cross country. I mean, the only place I've ever been where there's no cars ever is Utah. but like in like a very eastern side of Utah. But in Florida, I've driven all around Florida. I've never not seen a car for like forever. I mean, for hours. Like, this is crazy. I don't know. I'm getting very specific about this.
Don't let that bother you, man. Be more mad about the bus driver being killed. That's what I care about.
Preach.
So as the kills continue, you know, the creepers killing people or whatever. The one cool part that I've totally forgot about. And I was like, wait, how is he going to get out of this one? They stabbed the creeper through his head with a metal pipe. It goes through his eyeball, and then he has to tear half of his head off and throw it on the ground. I was like, shit, this is it. He's able to regrow his head. So I'm like, I don't think this thing can be killed.
But didn't he steal someone else's head?
Yeah.
I mean, looks like he can do whatever.
But like, he doesn't have a fucking head. Like, his head's gone, but his body can still regrow a head. Like this, I don't think you can kill this thing.
Well, if you read on Wikipedia, the Twin Peaks guy like stabbed him in the heart trying to kill him, but he went into hibernation before he could totally kill him. Which is like, okay. I guess that works.
Okay, he stabbed him like 7,000 times with the thing or whatever. But dude, I'm sorry. If you have 23 years, you cut his head off with a buzzsaw, you throw its like body in acid, like you do all. He left it like strung up. It was like selling $5 tickets at the end. Be like, come see a bat out of hell. Come see it. Like,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You know that like one of the last scenes before he gets hit with the harpoon, and he's like, get down, and then like the truck like flips over with the guy in the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
Is that guy dead? I mean, did you see what happened with that truck? Like, flip?
Yeah.
No one would survive that. At that speed and that flip, you would just get splattered on the ground.
That is exactly. I wrote that down. I said
There's no way that guy's okay.
the guy Izzy. I called him like baby Woody Harrelson, like a replicant. And so Woody Harrelson's replicant pushes her out of the car at like 45, completely jettisons his friend, and he would be split in two.
Easily.
The way that truck crashed, he would be a stain on the ground.
No, but the best part is like right before it happens, what does he say?
I don't remember.
He's like, "Get down," like as if that's gonna help.
Hold on to something.
No, he says, "Get down," and like to like let the creeper fly through the windshield or whatever. That was the most ridiculous scene ever, and they're all dead. Everyone in that car is dead.
Yeah, right before Ray Wise comes and like stabs it a million times, like that whole scene just was mayhem. Like there's so many people getting killed that I was like, I'm like losing track basically. Who survives? Do we remember who like actually lives?
Couple kids, I think Minxie survives.
Minxie doesn't Double D.
Well, he's the one who was like, "Get down," and like he should have definitely been just completely just pieces everywhere. And who was driving that? Was that?
That was Izzy, and I don't know where he is.
He's got to be completely dead.
Izzy crawls from the wreckage before the truck explodes.
Bullshit.
There's no way.
That's what it says.
He's in the car when it flips. There's no way he's out of that car.
I'm reading
and
it.
even if he is, he's going like 60.
I don't know.
That motherfucker is jam on that window.
Okay, so like 3 people survived, but the creep also didn't get what he wanted. So like no one really wins in this situation. All the survivors are scarred for life. You know, Ray Wise, he knows his son's dead, and now his life is just like. But I want to know how do you get from okay, I've seen what this thing can do, it killed my son, to let's make money off this fucking thing. You know?
I think he learns from one of the kids like what it is. It hibernates for 23 years and it comes back. So I think he's like, all right, let's keep a good eye on it and do it that way.
But he's like risking it by like making it like a circus act on the side of the road.
Yeah, and the other line that kind of made me like raise my eyebrows, and he's like 23 years, give or take a day. I'm like, what is this, like leap year shit? Like, what does that mean?
Maybe.
Does he count leap years like 23? So is that more like 22? I don't know.
No. It would be like almost 23 years. Yeah, so he's right. So yeah, don't have your carnival attraction open anywhere near where that thing could come back to life.
You're gonna close off peak ticket sales in this economy?
Yeah, man. Now's the time when like, oh, it's 23 years. We got to go see the bat out of hell that like he's gonna wake up any day now. Like that's where you make your money, dude.
You know what? You're right, because this is technically the end of the movie takes place in 2024, technically. So we don't know. The recession could, it could be real by then. So, but yeah, I mean, do you guys think that they should make a sequel? Because the third one apparently is a prequel, and then the fourth one is a reboot. So it wasn't. Do you think they should do one that takes place in 2024, which would be the 23 years after 2001? Do you think they should do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just recreate the scene again when he's like, give or take a day or two. The kids leave and they talk like shit, like, man, that was stupid. Like, I feel like such a little punk child. And then he wakes up like in a couple days when like the old guy like falls asleep, or maybe the old guy dies of a heart attack before he wakes up.
Ray Wise is still alive, and they wouldn't need to do makeup because now he looks old.
Now he's 23 years old.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it, and just like what would be the part of the movie is like they could go back into like his lair was completely taken, so he needs to start making a new lair, and maybe he makes it out of the farm, but still waits for people to come get tickets to this thing, and that's how he lures people in and just freaking
dude, boom, that's fucking great.
Boom. He's like, they're coming to me.
Yeah, it would be a horrible scene of him going on the internet and like figuring out how to like put Facebook posts up and stuff. But like otherwise, I love it.
What would you call it? Like Jeepers Creepiers?
Nah, it's just Jeepers Creepers 4.
3 Jeeper, 3 Creeper.
Well, it's the fourth one because there is a third one. So this, but I don't know, Ryan. If you had to think of any idea, where would you take the series from? Because this is technically the last like timeline. This is as far as the timeline goes.
You could do it is the next so like 2024, it's the 23rd anniversary, and you make it like an 8 episode series.
Ooh.
And you have one episode dedicated to the Ray Wise guy character, and then getting out into the open, and then having like some sort of establishing background that people knew about this 20 years ago, but they never knew what happened. And then you introduce characters, and each character gets like an episode, and then there's like just a pure battle episode with the Creeper, and then there's like one or two concluding, and you kind of have the either cliffhanger either of do they actually kill it before the 23 years, or is the same kind of conclusion happen as 2? That would be kind of how I would take it.
Holy shit, I love this. I want to combine both of your ideas. Make it a mini series where we get to see from its inception, waking up, takes over the farm, kills Ray Wise, uses the attraction to his advantage, and then they start attacking him or whatever. Like, the motherfucker's back, and they have to go after him. But they know what he is now because they found his den, so they can figure out how to kill him now for good. And the series follows his next 23 days. Oh my God, I love it.
How about this? Adding to it, did Justin Long have a girlfriend in the first one? I remember something like that, right?
He's traveling with his sister, but I can't remember if he had anybody.
I remember at the opening scene he was talking to the girlfriend or something, or like bringing the girlfriend home and they broke up or whatever, right?
Maybe.
I think, or maybe it was the girl. What if they did this where like Justin Long died, but his girlfriend was pregnant, had the baby. The baby's now 23. Oh, Justin Long's like 50 now, so that wouldn't really fucking work. And they just bring back Justin Long as Justin Long's son.
He's dead.
A lot like, I know, no, but they bring back like
you look just like your dad.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, but he's also like 50 now, so that would.
He's like, I smoke and I hang out in the sun a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of miles on me. The economy's really in shambles.
Wait, oh my God. And they bring back the sister from the first one, and they bring back the survivors from this one, and they also all come back like periodically throughout the season. Cliffhangers, I'm thinking, like bring her back, like the sister comes to, like, I know what to do, and they show her, and then it cuts to black. I love this. Something here.
There's a lot to be done.
They got to do this in the next like year.
What else do you do with the wooden teeth though? Or maybe you do like a super duper prequel and go back to like the Revolutionary War.
Well, I did see online that they blame him for like Croatoa, that whole like God, what's that thing in North Carolina? That island.
Oh, that like disappeared.
Yeah, where like everybody.
Roanoke.
Yeah,
Croatoa. Is that like a volcano and that like Krakatoa?
That's what was left on. That's the only word that was written was Croatoa or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so they think the Creeper did that. But all right, before we wrap up, I do want to ask you guys, what do you think, if you had to guess, gun to your head, what do you think? What is the Creeper?
A demon, obviously, that's just like scarecrows.
Demon scarecrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because it's hibernating for 23 years, so it's like a scarecrow.
Why is that like a scarecrow?
The scarecrows don't move.
They don't hibernate for 23 years.
I don't know. You asked me, gun to my head.
Okay. That's fine. That's a great answer. Ryan, you got a gun to your head.
It's got to be something like a vampire dragon thing. It's got to be something that needs other things to survive, but is essentially eternal. So it'd be closer to like a vampire, in my mind. Like how Dracula, like this could be a version of Dracula from a movie where in one version he could be like a guy who looks like Tom Cruise, and he could bang flip it and look like this guy. I just feel like that could be how I would explain it if I didn't know.
It's kind of like Castlevania. Like he looks like sexy Dracula, but then he turns into like this monster beast.
Exactly. He just on a turn of a hat becomes that. Because like there's a point where he's looking at the camera and his face kind of like because he eats the new head and then like his face wrinkles up and he's like staring at the camera like, look, I'm the Creeper again. And I just picture it like he's aware. It's self-aware.
Right.
One last thought too. Stephen King must be like, come on. Like that's kind of like my It story with the hibernating thing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that, but yeah, we're gonna move on.
I know you mentioned that in the first one. Yeah, no, it smells fear through its vagina neck thing or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now has a predator face too.
I think he's pretty scary. I gotta say, the Creeper's face, it's good.
They made him like a creep, and like he's licking the window and stuff like that. Like he's creepy. He's scummy.
I don't know. I like this one. I do think the first one's like a better movie, but this one's like, I don't know, more entertaining. And if you like the first one, like definitely watch this one.
Agree. It's like Alien and Aliens. It's like Alien is just a good story. Aliens is like action. Lots more.
Yeah.
This is like the first movie sets up such a good like backstory and the lore and the psychic, and there's an engagement, and there's actually some like they're going tete-a-tete with the Creeper, and you wanted more of that, and then by the end it just kind of like it wraps up pretty abruptly. The second movie is basically, hey, let's cut out 2/3 of the rest of that, and we're just going to give you the battle with the thing the entire time. That's going to be the only premise. There's nothing else besides that. There is some dumb, stupid dialogue. There's some really overt racism and homophobia. However, all we're going to do is fight with a demon hellspawn for an hour and 45 straight minutes. And that's, I think, palatable for me. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, it's very digestible for a horror film. It's, it's not too long either, but anyways, I guess before we wrap up, you guys got any last minute thoughts?
Bring back the bus driver. Justice for Betty. Was it Betty? I forgot.
That sounds right. That just sounds
Justice
right.
for Betty. Justice for if her name's Betty. Betty.
Ryan, you got any last minute thoughts?
Shout out to Justin Long for coming back to do the movie, even though he was probably booming in popularity right in that time. But he was like humble enough to be like, "Yeah, I'll come back for a couple of scenes."
You gotta know your roots. Love it. Really proud of him. Like that. Pride of
Connecticut.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, Ryan, I mean, I've heard the third one is abysmal, like horrible, but any interest in coming back if we do the third one?
I'll admittedly will have to watch it for the first time, but I'd be willing to do that.
Oof, it's gonna be bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a bad one.
I'm gonna buckle up.
I heard it's a prequel, so who knows? Let's say. Anyways, Erik, is it that time to spin the wheel?
I think it is. Pull it up, because I don't have it ready. I can never do. Alright, spinning! Ooh, I forgot we had this on there. The Last House on the Left, 2009.
Ah, the remake, yes. There's somebody that I potentially want to bring on for that one. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he wants to join us. But
I'm gonna guess Will.
It is Will. I'm gonna see if he wants to jump on. If not, whatevs. But we'll see if he's around.
Cool, all cool.
Yeah. But Ryan, thank you very much for joining us, continuing the series of Jeepers Creepers. You creepy expert, you.
And the most random comment by far with what was it? The Jeremy
James Raymer.
Yeah.
Hands down, I'm gonna always remember that when I think of the most random thing.
Well, it is an honor to be part of the record books here, so just know I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. And thank you all for listening in. If you haven't had a chance yet, we released our episode on The Dead Zone last week, and we also released our episode on The Boogeyman, which Joe Testa and I got to go to the commercial filming for that film, so we got to see it early, so you can hear our story about that if you happen to be interested in that movie. But thank you all for listening in, and we will see you all next week with Last House on the Left
2009.